Hey Buzzers, what's going on? Welcome to the Arrow After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. It is season 5. This is episode 14, Sin Eater.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Who knows this song? Apparently my co-hosts don't. But anyways, it was quite suitable. Wow, and Tauri is eating Lex. That is a great way to start the show. Hey Buzzers, thank you so much for coming and joining with us. We have an exciting episode to talk about. But first, I want to be the one to invite you to join us on this end of the table. All you have to do is join the hashtag ABTV Arrow, and you can be a part of our show because we love that so much. I'm your host, Alikona Bradford. Please follow me at Boys and Beauty 01, and also these gentlemen that are dancing over to my left.
We're supposed to be dancing?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, we're doing this. I'm Lex Michael, and I'm over here today, and I'm all over social media at the Lex Michael. That's me.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. TAURIJAY.
I love the combo of them trying to dance and talk at the same time.
It's really hard.
Yeah, there are moments of pauses.
Dancing and talking.
Oh man, oh man. Well, first of all, it's so good to be back. Thanks, guys. Sorry I was gone last week. I was quite under the weather. But anyway, so happy to be back for a good episode, too. So many opinions that I have. But first, I actually want to start with the flashback because this episode is called Sin Eater, and the explanation of the Sin Eater was in the flashback.
Yes.
And let me just make sure that I took this information in properly.
Okay.
Because maybe I got it wrong. Okay. Person goes into the ditch, they cover him with vegetables, and the Sin Eater comes and eats the person's sins and the vegetables?
It's like, I imagine that sins don't taste all that good, right? So maybe the vegetables is like an enticement.
Stew?
Maybe it's like the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down.
Sins go down.
Sure.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I think that is a proper interpretation. I don't think the Sin Eater ate the person, though. I think it was like they starve this guy, don't give him any resources, and then the moment someone dies, then they're like, here, have these scraps in addition to this person's body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thoughts, if you're in the hash room, the hashtag
You need
room.
that sweet hash room.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you are
It's right
in
next
that
to the
room,
mushroom.
you let me know what you think. And then if I could please also have our engineer put that room, I'm just going to call it the room.
The room.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please
Okay.
play the movie The Room
hi, Mark.
on the big screen.
Any hooser. Okay, so yeah, that was it. I mean, we may as well just break down the.
There I am.
No.
Break down
Yeah.
the flashback.
Well, so not a huge amount happened in the flashbacks this week. They were in the hospital, and then they were leaving the hospital, and then Oliver shot some dudes, and...
But Oliver is always trying to take on people's problems, right? Because he's trying to get out of the Bratva, and I don't know if it's part of him trying to prove his character, but at the same time, he's willing to stand up in front of Anatoly and say, it's either you or me, because we're both going to get shot, so it may as well be me. You survive, Anatoly. What? Even though Anatoly's like, hey, just FYI, you're still part of us. And Oliver's like, actually, I need to move on.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, though, it was a really good... I mean, yes, it was a character-building moment in that, like, he summed up Oliver's character from that point on through even the current season. And that, like, Oliver, for some reason or another, will always take on everyone's problems. Just because I guess he feels like he's stronger than everyone, so he feels like he can take them more, which I think is an I mean, maybe that's just my interpretation of it, but like, I think that would be an interesting way to kind of approach the character.
I don't know if I necessarily think that he thinks he's stronger than other people. In present day, yes. In the flashback, I think it's just ingrained in him to constantly feel guilty and responsible for other people's problems, so he's always trying to take on stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why was Anatoly on the ground crawling? It was an excellent point, what was his name? Gregor?
Yeah.
Gregor pointed out, you are on the floor, hiding.
Crawling
Yes.
like a dog.
There you go, your accent's way better than mine.
Butt out like a baby.
Baby. Yeah, ass out like
Ass
baby.
out like baby. I sent that into a group text immediately after that line, and people were like, "What?"
Oh, really quickly. So Jamie Nauman says Oliver is so self-sacrificing. Absolutely. So hello to all of you in the chat. Thank you so much. There's a lot of people in there. Jared, Kyle Kent, Tony Roberts, Siva Ram, Cartier Walker, Mark Murphy, Ivan Soto, Stormy Woods, Donovan Walker. There's a lot of you guys.
You're all
the point
here.
is that everybody's here and we love it.
I like Curtis's new jacket too, Donovan Walker.
All about it.
I'm still trying to figure out how does Curtis braid his hair so quickly?
Yeah, really.
It's a machine.
Oh, it's like that braiding machine that you turn on and it's like zzz, zzz. They have those.
I like to think there's a little corner in the Arrow Cave with like you see the salon, the big dome piece
like
for
the
your head,
Jetsons.
and he just puts his head up there and it goes and he comes out and it's all done.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then he just like steams the tea onto his face.
Right? Far more.
Or I'd like to imagine that that Diggle does it. He's like, I still have a little bit of residual from having a daughter, and he's like braiding his hair real quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you mentioned mask, and we have the passing down of the mask with Laurel's mask being pushed down onto Dinah.
Yes.
That is huge. A, because it to me is so soon, and B, that is big shoes mask.
Well,
to
and
step
I
into.
appreciate though that Dinah understands how big a deal this is, and I appreciate that she is hesitant to step up and fill that role. Maybe the biggest surprise of the entire night for me was how well Quentin took the news.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to react real poorly to that, and he actually handled it incredibly well.
I think that's a part of him having gone through rehab and like really coming to terms with like how to deal with things in a responsible manner. And I like the way that because he also understands that it wasn't Laurel's wish for her to essentially be replaced and someone to be like, I'm Laurel now, or whatever.
What was the line?
The line was, hey, she wasn't looking for someone to replace her.
Is that your Paul Blackthorne?
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's a great Paul Blackthorne. She wasn't looking for someone to replace her. She wanted just someone to carry on in her place.
Wow.
To take her place. And there it is.
Wow.
So,
They're different.
Beyond semantics, what is the difference?
Well, I imagine. I guess this is my interpretation of it, and that
and that wasn't like I'm challenging you. I'm just what is your reading of it? What is the logic?
Yeah, my logic is that like it's the same way, especially coming from him as a parent. Like parents don't want their kids to become them; they want them to take their own place in the world and be better than them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was my interpretation. They don't want her to just do what Laurel was doing. They want her to take that mantle and then make it her own.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's ultimately how I read that line as well. And I get the sentiment behind the line totally tracks for me. The line itself, though, is like, what is the actual, what's the difference? I'm not
Really
sure the
quick, though,
difference.
I want to throw it to the room and say that everybody has been talking about how they feel about the mask being passed on, and a couple of people had actually mentioned that they're surprised that Felicity was just so like, here you go, and very happy about it.
Right.
And you have to think also too that Laurel was not just a partner but a friend as well, so I think it's a nice welcome for Dinah, because it's obviously not Dinah's fault that anything had happened, so it's really nice that the team is not holding it against her, that she is now being brought in initially by Oliver or whomever to be this replacement.
Right.
And I also want to throw it back to Ivan Soto, who actually, going back to the Curtis comment with the hair, he made reference to Ragman actually doing the hair. Now that Ragman's not here, I don't know, but that would have been a really
That's
good...
cute. I want that.
Yeah.
I want it. Somebody make a meme and send it to me, just to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to. Well, so they have had a little bit of time to get used to the idea of somebody coming in and filling that, or taking up that mantle, if you will, not replacing her, but carrying on in her place.
Yes.
So it makes sense. They've had time to process it, and Dinah seems to fit the bill incredibly well. I like that we're not milking it for drama where we don't have to.
Right. I was saying, I like that we're not training her. We are getting her familiar with the way we do things on our team.
Right.
But it's not, let's teach you how to do hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
she's
teach
got
you
it.
how to use a weapon. The fact that she's already there is it's nice because we already got that earlier in this season with the new recruits. So, and with Laurel.
Yeah.
Laurel had to fight her way to get to where she was, and it happened so quickly that even though I love Laurel, some of it was a little not believable for me. But this character, since I really don't know much about her except for the fact that she has a law enforcement background, I go, okay, cool. I can handle this.
Yeah, law enforcement background. She's got this metahuman ability, and she can she can handle herself outside of just the training you're going to pick up as a law enforcement agent. I mean, she can fight like the rest of the team can fight already. Yeah. So it helps that you have a character that's essentially has shown up minus a costume, more or less fully formed. Like the origin story is basically out of the way. Now they just need like a cool wig or something.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. Like it's trodden territory to have her going through this training arc where like all the other trainees essentially they have their own style. So the arc is about like getting everyone to work together as opposed to like pulling someone up from the ground.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Nice.
I like when characters are fully formed. It's like coming into the middle of a Batman storyline without having to see his parents die.
Yeah. Speaking of characters that we do and don't like, I really did not like, as small as her cameo was, Prometheus's mother. All I kept thinking was like, B.I., I get it. I get what your rationalization is in your cuckoo mommy mind, that I'm going to protect my kid no matter what. But clearly, if your child is Prometheus, which is what the mayor is telling you, you probably have seen on the news all these things that Prometheus has been doing. So there is no justification for, he's just scared.
Right.
And, beep, please. that fool does not look scared at all. It's called revenge, and I get that you feel like it's deserved because of what happened to your ex, but at some point, it's gotta stop. It's a little too much.
I am now. There was some weird Prometheus-related stuff tonight that really has me questioning what direction we're moving in with that character. It's also this is 14 for the season, and I had to remind myself today. I'm like, oh, that means there's still almost 10 more episodes.
Yes.
About like 8, yeah.
But it felt a little bit like we're parceling out this information really slowly.
Yeah.
And he's here and there though. You know, like last season when we were working with Damien Dark, he was in pretty much most of the episodes, not all, and here and there we got our few little short small baddies, but he was predominantly in the storyline.
Yeah.
Prometheus's name is mentioned a lot, but the actual involvement of him directly about this much.
I mean, you see about half of the episode tonight was dealing with the fallout of Detective Malone's death, which is obviously directly related to the Prometheus story. But aside from that opener, you don't get, I mean, and again, you don't get the physical appearance from him, but tonight was the first time. We've had people in the chat, and I've seen a couple people on Twitter speculating, maybe, is there a chance, crazy like tinfoil hat time, is there a chance that maybe Susan Williams is Prometheus? And tonight was the first night where I went,
I don't know. Let's talk about Sue then. You know, sorry, did you want to say something before I go on a rant?
No, go on your rant.
Okay, because I was holding off on this one because I know I had a lot to say about this and about Oliver because I want to slap the silly off of him, and that's putting it kindly. Because here's this woman who clearly was trying to check her sources when she asked you, so are you the Green Arrow? Yeah. Huh? And I think maybe in Oliver's mind, he thought he was being slick because, you know, if you give the direct answer, that's really the answer, that people think that there's no way that's the answer. Regardless. I know you want to say something, sorry.
Go over.
The only thing I want to say is what killed me about this is she blatantly said to his face when she got fired, I can never release the story now. Dude, the story is about you. She's telling you she wants to out you and she no longer can because you destroyed her credibility, but you're still mad at Thea for exposing her? Are you okay?
Okay, interesting.
All right. Well, okay. So that's a lot to unpack. So
Sorry.
No. That was a great rant. I like in some aspects I agree, but at the same time, like I feel like Oliver is still justified in being mad at Thea in that like she went a step too far, like to get her fired and completely discredited.
But how do you stop her? Because that information is so threaded into other things, how do you stop her? That's just making a statement and stopping her.
Well, But you're not confronting the issue directly. You're essentially going through shady means in order to shut her down, as opposed to she confronted Oliver straight on. She was like, "Are you the Green Arrow?" So the next step is to either, one, have the Green Arrow talk to her and be like, "I'm not Oliver Queen," or whatever, or Thea herself goes and talks to her and says, like, even if you think that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow, what good does it do to expose him? What purpose is it? What purpose is there in trying to make what purpose is there in trying to make this hero have a singular face as opposed to being a symbol?
I just think that Susan is out for her own means and out to establish herself even more, and if that means using Oliver as being a good story, then awesome. And Thea obviously already has a history with this woman and having trust issues with her, because at the beginning of the season, that's how it starts between the two of them.
Right.
Susan shows that she can be a little conniving. So if you've already shown your cards once, what makes Thea think that this woman is not out to do something else and be trustworthy?
Right. I mean, and that aspect of it makes sense to me. It's a massive risk to have somebody out there with that information and just take it on Oliver's word that she's not going to use it against Kal-El Kent. Susan is fake news. Nobody's going to top that tonight. So there's even if Oliver says there's no way that she would do that to me, wouldn't be enough for me personally to feel super comfortable.
Right.
How else, unfortunately, past a certain point, how else do you handle that situation except discredit the person that this information will be coming from?
Right.
Where it makes sense for me, where Oliver's reaction makes sense for me, ultimately comes down to the last conversation the two of them have in the episode, where it's less about this one issue. It's less about Susan. He says, like, whatever will be with Susan will be, essentially. It's the fact that what you did reminds me of Mom.
Right.
And Mom basically implying Mom wasn't like the nicest, most legit person. And when I look at you doing this and making this choice, this wasn't something you did on accident. You made a very specific choice, and it reminded me of the choices that our mother made, and I don't want to see you go down that path.
Right. I will say this, because Ivan and somebody else had said that, it's Thea being dark. I don't take it as dark, and this is from a female's perspective. I'm not vindictive by any means, but I understand that sometimes as females we do run off of emotions, and we're very protective. So therefore, when you've already crossed somebody who has done you dirty, and now they have your brother in the line of fire, the quickest thing you can think of is to discredit them, or whatever the case may be. Then she probably just did it. Not thinking it's going to be this huge long thing that, she'll never get a job again or blah, 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 blah. I think it was, let's stop her now. How do we do it? Let's do this.
Right.
And it was also maybe a little bit of payback. And again, I don't think it's from the darkness. It's just sometimes people want to get people back. It's human nature.
Yeah. I mean, though, they could have just had Oliver make out with her so hard that she couldn't speak again. But
that's the thing, too, though, is the whole, why did Oliver not even think to question, and maybe it's somewhere as a B-line story in his mind, but why did he not think to question the fact that, was this relationship even real? Because I'm over here really caring about you and your job. How much do you really care about me, and how much of this was a relationship so you could find all these things out about me? Especially since Susan laid out, well, according to the pictures I have pictures of this. I saw that, and then I saw your tattoos. Okay, well, that's a lot of things that you have that weren't just a coincidental, I happen to notice. You have a long history of things about me.
Right.
Why did he not question anything about that? Instead, he just took the heat from Susan and started feeling bad.
He didn't, I mean, to be fair, though, he didn't have a ton of time to address all of the information that she had before they could really have another, or even a real conversation about it. Thea did what she did. And where it does get a little bit, yikes for me is, it's not just that she lost her job. It's not just that she got fired from one place. And even if she can prove definitively that she is not a plagiarist, that this was a fabricated story and it was intended to discredit her, most people aren't going to remember that. They're going to remember that her name was associated with being a plagiarist. And she's very unlikely that she's going to be able to work in her industry again. Like, it's not just the one job, it's her career, by extension, it's her whole life. And so even though I do stand by what I said a few minutes ago about how it's uncomfortable at best to know this person is out there with all this information, it's like, that's a big thing you're doing. You're ruining somebody's entire life on a maybe.
But that somebody also was not just digging around and getting information. That somebody started a relationship with someone else, potentially for a story, which is what we saw when she was having her conversation with whomever a few episodes ago. So you are now sleeping with somebody, starting emotions with somebody for your story. That's where you've crossed the line of morale for your job. That's different than just investigating.
That's not unfair.
So anyways, somebody else in the chat actually agreed, so thank you for someone else having my back, because apparently some people don't. But whatever, that's what this show is about. Everybody should have different opinions.
Well, and it's a very gray area, because I see the argument for why Thea really believed that this was the necessary move, and she didn't intend for it to cost this woman her career, essentially.
Right, exactly.
But I see her POV on it, and I also see why, like, that was a big step for you to just take on your own.
Oh, I like that Stormy says, when it comes out that she slept with the subject she was investigating, then that doesn't stand well. Your comment just went, but that's okay. The point is that what she was saying is, if it came out,
that would also go a long way towards discrediting her. Yes. It would, but that would be her basically tying the noose herself instead of it being done to her.
Right.
Oh well. I'm done with her. Let's put her to bed.
Well, but I am wondering.
Oliver sure did.
But I am wondering, is this all that we're going to be seeing of this character? I find that hard to believe.
No, I don't think so.
I'm wondering, like, for example, who leaked that information to the press at the end?
Oh, wait, which?
At the very end, about how the mayor's office was part of this cover-up?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was Susan, to be honest with you, just as a get back.
Yeah.
I know that originally Oliver was like, oh, it must be Prometheus's mom that's getting me with the ACU.
It's gotta be Prometheus's mom spreading fake news.
Yeah.
She started a blog. Everyone's retweeting it.
I don't know. You know what we haven't talked about,
The
though?
Green Arrow killed an officer. Sad.
Aww. Wow. Okay, so really
man.
quick, what we have not talked about is our three wonderful leading ladies.
Yes,
from the dark side.
we get Cupid and China White and Lady Cop.
Yes.
All come back at once.
Yeah, Lady Cop was ticking me off. Although I will say it was really funny when someone said, "You're under arrest," and she's like, "I'm good."
I really like Rutina Wesley in general, but I really like her in this part, and I love how we haven't seen her in since last season, and I like that she comes back and she's just totally in it. She's present. She's really playing off of everybody really effectively. She brings a lot of like this intensity and this weight to what she's doing, because that part could be real silly.
Yeah.
It would be real easy to play that part in a way that's very goofy, in an unintentional sort of fashion, but I think she kills it. So seeing her again was nice. And then Cupid, I love the bit about the arrows being expensive. The custom made heart arrows being expensive was wonderful.
I loved, especially, and this is more personal information than you need, but especially because I'm currently in a D&D campaign, having a long weapon, that's a whole thing that you have to do, is you have to you can regroup half your arrows. That's not important, but that made me laugh a lot on the inside.
All right.
Because it's the struggle's real, guys. It's real.
But it
Anyways,
but it makes sense. Like, think of it, she's got hearts as her arrowheads. I imagine that would cost a little bit to manufacture.
Right.
So if you can, why not pick them up when you're done?
Wow. Swipe off a few blood and guts, no big. Put it back in the case.
It doesn't really matter if it's got some of the innards of the last person, because you're gonna kill the next person anyway.
True. Very true.
yeah.
Anywho, but it was nice to see, first of all, we had our three lady villains, and they weren't, well, they never have been weak villains, but when you put all three together, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially when they're fighting. So it was very entertaining for me to see the three of them together, and on top of the fact that they're all hot. So, of course, stupid dude thieves are like, hey.
Hashtag stupid dude.
Yeah, like, hey, she's hot. Yeah, to like kill you.
But hang on, go back to the top of the episode. What I got stuck on for a minute was, why are these 3 criminals being transported on the same
All
bus
together?
at the same time? Who thought that was a practical or smart idea?
I also really liked this guard who was really entertaining this conversation where she's like, hey, why don't you take these off and I won't be a prisoner? He's like, I'd lose my job. Like, bro, you need to sit her down. Like, this isn't a discussion.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, well, here's the pros and cons of us sleeping together with you being a prisoner. Yep.
What? Cartier didn't. I hope I said your name right. Cartier Walker said Lady Villains was horrible. I thought they're
What?
great. China
Girl.
White is the best of the 3. We didn't get to see much of China White.
They
either.
both she and Cupid took a bit of a backseat to Lady Cop. Cupid stands out a little bit more because she's got a gimmick.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't have any interaction with Oliver. Like, hey, boo, do you remember me?
She's over him.
Oh, excuse me. She moved on.
She moved on, girl.
Excuse me.
She was all about that floored London. Yeah.
Floored.
Floored London. He was floored.
That's how we get around the movie branch telling us we can't use these characters. Bring the same actor back, throw a mustache on him, and be like, I'm floored London.
I have a very similar backstory, but only difference is I had a son and a husband. Anyways, I liked that Lady Cop took the lead because it made sense with her having been part of a tactical team, and also I liked that she got that storyline with Lance, which directly tied back to the flashbacks.
Yes.
Or at least the theme of the flashback.
I also we're seeing a bit this season across multiple shows, a lot of people watching TV news about Damien Dark.
Yeah.
This was another reference to part of why she decided to go bad again was that she saw on TV that Quentin was working with Damien Dark. And then on this show in the flashback last week, you had Renee watching Damien Dark on the news getting killed. And then on Legends of Tomorrow a couple of weeks ago, you had Malcolm Merlin watching the same news broadcast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The news is ruining people's lives. Art reflecting
Life. Sad.
Well, I have to say, I just don't like the fact that she's smart. So I'm not going to say I don't like it. Smart. But the fact that she constantly used that against Lance, and the fact that he turned around finally after taking his advice from Thea, and I don't remember the specific words he said verbatim, but basically just saying, quit using your sins to justify, or my sins to justify quit using other people's sins to justify your own. And P.S., how many times did we hear the word sins in tonight's episode?
A couple.
A few.
Like 80.
Yeah.
It was a little much. I'm not gonna lie.
What was the name of the episode?
Something about sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, but I can't recall how many times somebody had to say sins, your sins, and then we heard Oliver Queen. Sorry. When he went to Prometheus' mother and said he's become someone else.
Something else.
Someone else. There you go.
And Stephen Amell played it completely straight, not arch at all. He sold that scene, but you can't drop that into the dialogue of the show and not elicit a laugh response from me.
Yeah. But we've been getting it a lot this season. I think this is the second episode in a row where it's something else, someone else.
Yeah.
So I like that it's finally becoming a thing in the show and not just part of the dialogue. It's in Flash where Barry's always but guys, I'm the fastest man on Earth, right, audience?
Oh.
I saw that one.
Okay.
Yes, I saw that one too. Well, yes. This is just another bit. But when every time someone said sin, I wanted Canary's little friend to pop out and be like, me?
Oh, yeah.
No? Okay. See you later. For everyone who doesn't remember, blah blah blah. Bet Rickard's character Cindy, also known as Sin. Was a character who was best friends with Canary in the earlier seasons when it was still
Sarah.
When it was still Sarah.
That's
She
right.
just fell
Yes.
off. She got herself onto another series, and she said, "Bye, guys."
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, she's on Scream and Voltron. She's
for her.
great. That's it.
You know,
follow
I
her
want to go
very
back.
closely.
Oh, not at all. He doesn't stalk her. Mm-mm.
No.
So what I do want to cover, though, is the fact that Oliver, I just said he made the reference of something else, someone else. The other thing he did to himself is talk to Pike and say, you know... And it was just so weird and obvious and awkward to me. And it's weird because Oliver lies for a living, especially to his best friends. So when he's giving stories to other people sounding terrible, it makes me go, And what I'm referring to is when he says to Pike, well, you know, the Green Arrow didn't do it. Well, what happened was, how do you know this much information? Oh, it's like when a kid says that, you know, the dog did it. How did you know the dog? Oh, I just know.
Right, it's a little bit like, okay, that's definitely worth looking into. Where did you get this information? Can you trust where you got this information?
Well, going back, because I just talked myself into a little bit of a circle, but the reason I brought that up is because he said to Pike, you know, he's going to have to live with this the rest of his life. And then stupid Arrow
says the exact same thing. It's like,
I'm the Green Arrow, Pike. It's me. I can't help myself.
No, okay, so I had the same thought before he even said the line, and I get that it's one of those things that you buy into it when you watch shows like this. Same way on Supergirl, why doesn't anyone recognize her as soon as she puts on glasses? You buy into it.
Right.
But when they see each other at the end, and Oliver's there in his Green Arrow uniform, he's got the hood up, but like his face is pretty well lit.
Yeah.
And the mask is just covering this much of his face, and is like, the mayor vouched for you. You know, you have his chin.
Yeah. And his facial hair. Like, same pattern and
you're
everything.
barely modulating your voice. You're just whispering, dude. And now you're literally saying the same thing he said to me earlier today.
Yeah.
So really quick then, what do you think as far as Oliver had the discussion with him as the mayor, and he said, well, I know because, you know, the DA tried to cover this up, and this is what really happened with Billy Malone. It was a trick, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the show, we have that news again, where it's Oliver could potentially get impeached because of everything that's going on, and somebody obviously released the information that they had been covering up the Green Arrow's involvement. Do you guys think that that was somebody from the other side, or do you think it was Pike being like, well, morally, I do have to let people know?
I feel like we haven't really spent enough time developing Pike for that to track for me.
Well, I mean, I think, though, in the time that we spent, we know that he is very much letter of the law and all about, getting justice for his fallen cop. So, if at that moment he realized that the Green Arrow and Oliver Queen are the same person, then that moment when Oliver vouches for the Green Arrow, he's basically going, hey, I am vouching for myself, believe me, because I just told you the truth? So the moment that he
Why did you do that thing with your voice, Mayor Queen?
Because? So, I mean, I think that at that point you feel doubly betrayed because he's using his clout in addition to his vigilante-ness in order to circumvent the law.
Yeah, and I like that he's dealing with politics now. We spent a lot of time talking about, is Oliver Queen going to be mayor? He's not going to be mayor. He's mayor now. Wow, it's going to be tough to be mayor and the Green Arrow at the same time. And it has been, but we haven't spent, and I get that this is a superhero show and it's not House of Cards, but we haven't really seen him have to deal with untangling any real difficult political situations. Mm-hmm. So I like that is how he chose to address this particular issue. It wasn't trying to dodge the ACU as the Green Arrow. It was as Mayor Queen going in and doing something that definitely exceeds his reach a bit, and then having to politics his way around it best he's able.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so really quick, I just want to let you guys know in the chat that we haven't forgotten about you. I know we've gotten really deep into our conversation, but I am peeking over here, and I do also want to say hi to, there's Tyler, Stormy, I already said
Nerdity nerd.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Gosh, somebody said
really
something.
likes you.
What?
Nerdity nerd.
Nerdity nerd.
Donovan Walker, Jared Scugan, if I said that right.
Scugan?
Somebody said something. The reason I actually referred to the chat is because somebody made an excellent point, and I wanted to bring it here into our show topics, and unfortunately it scrolled up so quickly that I don't remember what it is.
It was probably that Lex is right all the time.
No, that was definitely not it. No, that was not it. No, I'm just kidding.
But Billie Jean Girl, I also miss Human Target.
Everybody misses Human
I
Target.
mean-
but for all we know, he's been in every episode this season.
That's true.
Oh, Prometheus is Lex, or is Lex Prometheus?
I don't know. You do.
Two, it's like, okay, we're done making noise.
Yes.
Two phrases used, two terms used tonight that we haven't heard before. I really enjoyed Oliver Queen referring to Team Arrow as auxiliary law enforcement.
Oh, yes.
That was cute. And then also, I like at the very end, what a wonderful line to end on, where he says, "This could be the end of my administration." And I'm going like, I'm now retroactively disappointed that we haven't heard the term the Queen administration being thrown around more.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
It would be.
I just want to hear it. Just to set that together coming out of like somebody just yelling it.
Yeah.
Make me very happy.
I mean, we have very creative audience members. I mean, I'm sure someone could slap something together. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All you need is clips and a microphone, and you can just wallow the crap out of that. Audience, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
wait,
Queen administration audience. Okay.
Dang
it's
it,
done.
Lex, somebody was saying something about you, but it disappeared.
Something about me,
you
but it
get
disappeared.
body snatched or something.
What?
Yeah, the real Lex
No.
got body snatched. When is Roy coming back? I don't know, and I keep saying the same thing because every single article and every interview that Colton Haynes did said that he was going to be in multiple episodes, but the only thing we saw was that hologram of him, and then I think...
Weird hologram.
Yeah, and then I think one other thing. So to me, that doesn't really suffice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully in the latter part of the season, we'll see him a little bit more. But in the meantime, if there's anything we haven't talked about yet, please put it in the hashtag room. Darn, I'm gonna get this. I promise you guys, I went to college.
Hashtag room. Hash room.
Hash room.
Right next to the mushroom.
Because I do have a lot of news and gossip that I want to share. And okay, we're just gonna go ahead.
There it is.
News in the hash
Let's
room.
do pictures first, and then we'll do video. So I want to do a little bit of a Flashback Friday, Throwback Thursday on a Wednesday.
Way back Wednesday.
You might be listening to
Way
this on a
back
Friday.
Wednesday.
You could be. You very
Yes.
well could be. So if you guys are looking on your screen, you should see Thea, aka Willa Holland, circa 2005. Look at how sweet and innocent she is. And then
Tiny person.
2016. Let's go to the next one. John Diggle. I like these.
Oh, look at his hair.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
He's got a nice little natural going on.
You know, it's silly observation, but I do love his freckles, and his freckles remind me of Dory. I don't know why.
Dory, like the fish?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because just Ellen DeGeneres has
You don't
freckles.
speak whale? No, Dory has freckles.
Yes,
Let's go to
okay.
the next picture.
Fish freckles.
And this 1970s mustache.
Look at him rocking the stash.
Nice.
Just wow. I hope he's blushing. Okay, anyways, next picture, please. And Paul Blackthorne, excuse me, giving us bedroom eyes and a little chest hair to go along with it.
Look at that. That is so manly.
Just
Oh,
tickling
yeah.
his chest hairs as he gives you bedroom eyes. Okay, next picture. Okay, this is both 2016, but I thought, what a nice opposition to what we see in Felicity.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's Emily Bett Rickards just on the regular, her style. If it is, I'm digging it. Let's go to the next one. This is very Pam Anderson-esque. It's Kitty Cassidy.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
All right.
Yeah, Britney Spears meets Pamela Anderson.
Little Pam Anderson, little
Yeah.
Hilton-y maybe.
A little.
Maybe.
That was when she was in her rebellious younger years.
Maybe it was
Interesting.
Halloween.
I don't think so.
You don't know.
Okay, so next picture. Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at that. Is that a high school photo?
Looks like it. 2004. I don't know how old she is, but
I don't
assume
either.
so. Anyways, going to our next picture. Now this.
Interesting.
What's going on here?
I'm assuming he won a garter belt, or not one, excuse me, caught it at a wedding. But at first I
Tiny-
did think it was one of those fairy things that went over your head when you go to a festival, like a Renaissance festival.
Little Stephen Amell, circa 93, has flashback hair.
He does!
Look at that.
Without the split ends. All right, next picture.
Shade Throne.
But this one is even better.
What the-
2007. It's a little Ken doll-ish, but
He doesn't look real.
Yeah.
right?
What is that from
I don't
exactly?
recall.
All right.
If
He's
anybody
real
knows, you
blonde.
put that in the room. Let's go to our next, if I have any more. Moira, I just found this and I thought she was cute too. This is actually part of a video. I wish I had the person's name I could credit, but I don't, unfortunately. However, she's a very cute girl.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, next.
And a hot woman.
If I have any.
What?
Oh.
1976, little John Barrowman.
Ah.
Look at that
Look at
haircut.
Jimmy.
I like the 2016 picture is him
No
with
face.
the mask
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And I
Same
don't know
eyes.
if I have any more pictures. Oh, last one would be.
Oh, McDonough, 96. Looks like, yeah, he was on Star Trek.
Looks like it.
That's what that
Was-
uniform looks like.
It looks like Galaxy.
I don't know.
But he wasn't in that.
He looks
I don't
like
think he was
Christopher
in that.
Pine in that picture. Anywho, next picture. Because it's another variation of him that I went, whoa. And it's weird because in 2016 he looks a lot younger than he did in 2010.
2010, he looks a little more Dum Dugan-y in
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, okay.
It's the mustache.
Next, I think that's it. Is that it? Okay, cool. So then we have videos. I have lots of videos. Those are tons of fun. Today's theme was singing because we have so many talented people, and this is
Thank you.
specifically 2 videos of Stephen Amell. One of, I don't remember because I looked it up this afternoon. Please forgive me. But we're going to go ahead and open that up. Susanna is evil. People are still talking about that. Okay, so really quickly, we're going to go ahead and hit, oh, that's the last video, but that's okay. 2 of them are Little Mermaid inspired, so if you have not seen them, then this is, hey, surprise, and if you have, let's just relive the magic together. Let's hit play.
Lets the door close and pretends to go to sleep,
His daughter.
and then gets up and goes, "Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who has everything?" She has absolutely everything. "Look at this room, treasures untold. How many Nemos can one bedroom hold?" A lot. Looking around, gee, I think I've got everything. I've got gullies and ponies aplenty. I've got who's it and what's it galore.
He's gone rogue.
You want thingamabobs? I got 1,000 thingamabobs. But who cares? No big deal. I want more.
We'll wait for this last line before I cue it out. Let's hold, please. Keep going, keep going.
I want to be where my parents are. I want to know what they're watching, sitting out there on the sectional couch watching the giant curved TV. Flapping my arms, I don't get too far. My feet were designed for running, dancing, walking along on those, what are they called again? Because I'm a baby, I don't know. Feet, out where they walk, out where they run, out where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world.
And cut. Anyways, I thought that was really cute. He must have practiced that because he has the new lyrics except for the few moments of the stalls. But the fact that he knows The Little Mermaid well enough to do his own rendition?
Disney is going to get around to making this live-action Little Mermaid movie sooner than later, and I think if you really want to go bold and surprise people, you get Stephen Amell.
Oh, but it gets better. Hold on. One more Little Mermaid. Let's just watch this, shall we? Okay, that's that. Anyhow, I thought it was funny that I found 2 different videos of him singing The Little Mermaid.
So this is a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That in Stephen Amell's life, he occasionally will get roped into a Little Mermaid sing-along.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you do.
Yeah, and this last one is the whole entire cast, but we'll get a little bit of, oh my gosh, I just farted on his name. Curtis.
Echo.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Echo. We'll see a little bit.
Oh, they're all singing Hamilton. That's cute. I guess what I want to know though, how'd this come up? Like, did they decide of their own volition to sing Hamilton?
What I want to know is, did you have to be able to sing to be on this show? Because literally everybody on this cast can carry a tune.
But I want to know though, like who in the audience like had a question to ask and then ended with and sing Hamilton.
All the fans.
Like,
why not? They're like, you're an ensemble.
All right, so we can go ahead and cut this video. If you want to watch the rest, you can definitely check it out on YouTube. But again, it's not specifically news. It's not specifically gossip, but it's just fun stuff, and that's all. Let's get into predictions while they laugh.
Yeah.
Son.
And now,
There we go.
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So all we got in that fun montage that they always give us that makes absolutely no sense and really has nothing to do with the next episode when we see the next episode because they mash it up so well is just that we finally, I think, might get to see Prometheus. I don't know.
Well, what I got from the promo is that it looks like Vigilante is gunning for the mayor for some reason.
Okay. It happened so fast.
Yeah, which is a weird thing because we believe that Vigilante is Adrian Chase, who knows that the mayor, like, who was part of the cover-up.
Exactly.
So, like, and it's not like he has a reputation to uphold. It's not like people are like, why isn't Vigilante doing anything about this? So, like, it paints this picture that maybe Chase isn't Vigilante.
Right, which is not something I'd really considered all that extensively.
Yeah.
Until this very moment.
Which I think it would be interesting, and this is real, like, left field, but, like, it would be really interesting if Vigilante was also Prometheus.
Okay.
In that, like, he's trying to show the Arrow all the different versions of himself in order to, like, be that reflection of, like, you're a monster. Look how much of a monster you are in these other forms. Look, I'm you!
Can I just give you a little shout out for all these hand gestures? Because we got hang loose, and then you had a twirling on this one and a twirling on this one, and then for a little bit you were crumping. I was like, wow, Tauri.
Have room to breathe.
What I want to know is
Yes.
how. Gosh, I just got distracted by all this.
We've
wanna
never
know-
seen them together.
How he got trained in a way to where his moves look very similar to whomever Oliver is saying. You know, because we have that flashback of Talia, and just the things that he's doing, it's very similar to whenever Oliver said, there's only one other person I know that can do this trick or what have you.
Right, and I'm going to point now to where, nope, I was thinking about the hand gestures and I got distracted. Hang on. Oh, we keep, as far as the team is concerned, they believe that Prometheus is this guy whose father Oliver killed years ago. But that's clearly a red herring, right?
It has to be.
Has to be.
So, like, I and Siva Ram have a theory that it's the mom. Like, because
Okay.
All right, stick with me.
I guess that would explain why that scene was there tonight.
Yes, it was real weird, and also she didn't acknowledge that she had a son until Oliver said it.
Right.
If she was in league with Prometheus, she knows that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow.
Right.
And having, a petabyte of data that they could steal with that little device means that, like, she probably has oodles and oodles and oodles of information probably about the Green Arrow. So...
Ooh, and maybe somehow she is linked to Susan. Maybe Susan was feeding information to her as well.
Maybe.
Maybe that's a bad prediction. I don't know. Really quick, though, I do want to say... thank you. Billy Jean Girl 18 says, I predict that Susan leaked the cover-up of Billy's death because she blamed Oliver for getting fired. Good prediction. I concur. However, I will say, if you don't have... Well, you get your prediction out there because I think it's about that time.
Well,
but I will let you take the next time.
No, my mind's blanking now. You're wiping all of the thoughts away from my brain. No, I'm at a point now where I don't have a really strong theory regarding the identity of Prometheus beyond, well, it's not the one dude they keep thinking it is. Mm-hmm. That's what I got. I'm just like, okay, well, give, like, next week, maybe you'll give me something and I'll go, oh, I think this now.
Okay, well then I'm going to take that as our cue to turn to the main camera at the front and say, all together now, that we appreciate you visiting us, chatting with us in that room that we call with the numeral sign. Yes, anyhow, please be sure to follow all of us. You can find me at boysandbeauty01 on the Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram, boys_and_beauty_Alikona. And that's pretty much it. Just follow them.
Them includes me.
Yeah.
I'm Lex Michael, all over social media at the Lex Michael. And if you're a fan of DC on the CW on ABTV, I'm all over that. Me and Tauri J talk about Supergirl on Monday nights, talk about Legends of Tomorrow most Tuesdays, not next week for some reason. But then Arrow every week on Wednesdays. But you know that already because you're here. Keep coming back. We love you.
Yeah, and since we're British, I am Tauri J Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. This TAURIJAY. And also on the shows that Lex Michael had mentioned.
Is that your Ray Winstone?
No, you sound like one of the seals on Finding Dory.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. All right, well,
Nice.
tally-ho, cheerio, and we appreciate you. Mwah. And good night, good day, good morning, good tea time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Something British!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.